Okay, so I'm in C-Mac today with Jordan Bradshaw, just back from the Four Nations. Obviously, you shared gold with Keith. How did that feel for the second time to get to the end of it? Happened at the Nationals and now it's happened. How does it feel to get to the end of a tournament like that and share that moment with a teammate?
Well, me and Keith are main sparring partners, main training partners, main drilling partners. Well, it's not me and Keith, it's Keith and Ross, or me and Ross, just the way it always has been. So for me and Keith to get to that point of an international tournament, national tournament twice, it's, I don't know, it's a powerful thing. Like, and as an individual fighter and as your teammate, like we're each other since kids. Like, do you know what I mean? We're great mates outside the gym. So we're training, doing extra training sessions, and then going on nights out after fights. Like, do you know what I mean? Weight cutting, texting each other about weight cutting. What are you eating? Oh, I'm only having a mini roll. I'm having a yogurt. What are you eating? Do you know what I mean? Like, just little things like that. And then the fact that we both splitting the most thing at prestigious, like, it's not at amateur. Do you know what I mean? Then Four Nations, like Keto, I got a boy. I got lucky getting the boy. And then Keto went out, got the 2 wins. We split the gold medal because obviously we're not going to fight. And then the fact that we got to do it again at the Four Nations, Keto had a really tough fight. And then Keith didn't have to fight a second time, so then I fought too. So it was good that we split the gold again. Like, it wasn't good, like, it's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? It's the best feeling in the world. And as Keto said, it's not. I wouldn't even say Jordan Bradshaw. It's Jordan Bradshaw and Keith Cow. Do you get me? And I'd never put my name on it. It's always just been the both of us.
Yeah, the C-Mac medal is what it is.
Exactly. It's over there. Do you know what I mean? It's over there. That's where it should belong. It's C-Mac, not at my wall. Not in Keith's old C-Mac. Nothing without this club.
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, you were very impressive, and you got 2 finishes, 2 rear naked chokes. How did that feel? Because a couple of your last fights have gone to decision, and you'd been saying you want to start finishing people again, because you had been earlier on in your career. So how did it feel to get to the finishes on a stage like that? Because they were very nice. The first one I seen was very nice, and so was the second.
Yeah, it was. I was meant to fight a different fella actually for the whole tournament. We knew the names of who we were fighting, and then I think it was like the night before the tournament, your man had an injury, so we had to fight someone else. So we didn't really care. Like, just once I got the fight, that's all that mattered. So it was just same mindset, same going in, just get the job done. And I know me, like, say like me losses are like people look at me wrestling. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that I got to showcase me wrestling and showcase me jiu-jitsu, and that was the main thing. Like, I don't really care about records. Like, at the end of the day, like, everything I do is for professional MMA. Like, and I'm such a believer in the law of attraction, like a deep believer in it. And I write on my wall, I write on my note, like, at the start of every year, I'm gonna put on a performance. I'm gonna be happy with my performance. It's not about winning. Like, if I got to a 3-round war, like, if I got like, I'd rather to be happy with my performance than not being happy with it. Do you get me? Because at the end of the day, it's just professional. That's all the main priority with everything.
Yeah, because obviously going forward, like, the losses will benefit you then going forward, and like you said, you've been put against wrestlers, and that's where some of your losses have come from. So you then now, obviously, you've learned from then, and it looks like you've turned the corner now to using your wrestling and your jiu-jitsu to get the win. I find it kind of interesting what you said about writing it down. That's kind of like what people say, like, you write something on the wall, or you write something on the mirror. So you're kind of like, the first thing you see when you wake up is that, and then that's always in your mind.
Exactly, it's the first thing I wake up. Like, after the Lewis fight, I think, like, I shouldn't have fought that fight, to be honest, because, like, I was weak-minded. Everything in my life was just going wrong. But I'm glad I fought it, because I learned out of all my amateur career and all my experience. That was the most I learned. And that day, when I got the Avenger against Lewis in the Nationals, I went out and I got a tattoo, and I wrote it on myself. My mate had a tattoo gun, and I wrote, I am, right, as in it's the first thing I wrote on my wall, saying, like, I am Jordan Bradshaw, I am this, you get me? It's what I believe in, so.
Yeah, no. How did it feel to avenge that loss? After, obviously, you said you weren't in the right mindset. There was obviously stuff going on in your personal life. You felt like you didn't want to be there. So once you lost that and you knew you weren't in that right mind state, did you want to run that back? Obviously, it was just by pure chance you got put against Lewis.
Yeah, exactly.
But would you have wanted to run that back, or would you have went on and just learned the lesson from it?
To be honest with you, I didn't really care if we ran it back or not. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's all about the next performance, about being able to be calm, comfortable, and in control of inside that cage, underneath those lights, in all that sound. The only thing that matters is the person in front of you, about hurting them, about punishing them any way possible, getting that ache. And that's what amateurs for, and people look at amateur differently. maybe like because as Alex says, Debbie says, the way we grow up, it's about experience. Like I'm in this to the end. Like, do you know what I mean? But if it wasn't for that Lewis fight, I think my mindset would have been probably the same as it was. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have wanted to be more confident at the time. But so I'm glad and I'm grateful that fight happened in my life.
Yeah, no, that's good, and it's good the way that's because sometimes when you ask people like what did they learn from the most, obviously you've taken a huge amount of experience from that, and then going forward it's only going to benefit you, and you've been doing well. So we've talked about kind of where you are at now. We're going to circle back and we'll come back to it full circle. How long ago did you start, and why did you start MMA?
I started when I was around 16 years old. I started MMA because I wanted to learn how to defend myself, because one day I was walking home, I was going on holiday the next day with my two mates and our families. I was just walking home one day and I got punched around, not gonna lie, about 6 or 7 people. Just got stood on, got punched around, not gonna lie, but like just straightforward. And I wanted to learn how to defend myself, so I texted the boys, and first person I sparred was Keto. Literally, do you know what I mean? The first person I sparred was Keto, and Keto was only a little, as you said, a little stump. Do you know what I mean? And I'm 2 years older than Keto, so both of us hadn't a clue how to throw a digger at him. And ever since then in C-Mac, we've just been doing all the novice tournaments, all the same shows together, all grappling tournaments together, now amateur shows, now representing with each other on the international level, and it's going to keep going until we get to world titles.
Yeah, no, 100%. There is a good togetherness in this gym. Obviously, this is the second time I've been here, and with the performance at the Four Nation, and one person I was actually really, really proud of as well. Obviously, I was proud of all of you, but Ross, obviously, since he's come back, he hadn't won a fight, and then he went out and he put on clinics. Yeah. He put on 2 clinics. So
I got in trouble, actually. Sorry for interrupting you there.
No, you're okay.
I got in shit when Ross won. Like, there's like a barrier around the cage. Like, I was going mad when Ross won, because only the people in C-Mac and the people, if you know technique and you know fighting, Ross is probably one of the most gifted strikers, gifted fighters you could ever see. Like, do you know what I mean? And that fight, them 2 fights, he showcased it. And I think it was just the fact that we knew it and he done it. We were all just so chuffed for him. Do you know what I mean? It was just, oh man, that weekend was so powerful, and I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Yeah, no, so, well, at least you were able to finish the end of the tournament, even though you got in trouble. Yeah, because Nahom Weddy Blessed put it actually up on his story as well. He goes, he's probably one of the best strikers I've ever struck with. And then, obviously, since he's came back, he fought Gary and Carl, who were notorious for the wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So, obviously, they were the losses. So, you see what goes on behind the scenes. That's why, obviously, that meant so much to you, yes?
Yeah, of course. Like, and then when you go at rolling with Ross, like, if you see, like, Ross's early wins, like, he pulls off these mad finishes, was it sumigation into a guillotine at Chaos a few years ago, and like that was like my first ever MMA show I ever seen live, and like Ross Kearney was the first fight I've ever seen, and the fact that he pulled off that in like within under a minute, do you know what I mean? Like, Ross was always the person that motivated me to go to C-Mac, to be as good as him, do you know what I mean? It was always Ross. Like, I know Keito punched the head on me, Alex punched the head on me, all the boys in C-Mac, but I just thought Ross was just so good. So his IQ in mixed martial arts was unbelievable, and I'm chuffed for him that he got to showcase it on the high stage.
Yeah, no, I was glad for all 3 of you to come away from there, and the whole team had a great performance, and obviously Alex and Debs were over there with you, which must have been good for them to go and see the 3E and then to oversee the other fighters as well. And I could actually see between Sinead and Debs, they looked like to have a really good relationship over there as well. What was it like having Alex and Debs over at the Four Nations with you?
Of course it was great, because when I went to the Super Cup, no one from my team or no coaches were there with me, so I was by myself. So the fact that I have Alex and Debbie there with me was unbelievable. I have endless appreciation. Like, I do anything for them. They did everything for me. They do everything for me, and they always will. And likewise to them. Like, I'm nothing without Alex and Debbie. Do you know what I mean? Really am. I'm eternally grateful for having them in my life and what they've done for me. But having them there, it was just a bonus. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I'm not sure if anyone's seen it, but the moment we had at the end when Ross won, like, we just had it was like a wolf pack. Do you know what I mean? Coming together after we just successful raid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was a good feeling. It was a great feeling that they were there in our corners, being there for every moment.
Yeah, no, it looked good. It looked like there was togetherness between all of you, and then obviously with the 5E being from C-Mac, though, I can't even put into words what I think the feelings and emotion would be, because I haven't fought but you could just see it in Ollie how proud everyone was of each other, and so was everyone else from Ireland. You've seen the comments, you've seen everything. So, like, a massive congratulations to you and the team here.
What was I going to say? See, at the Four Nations when I got the flag, because I was chuffed, because we even knew, like, we sussed out the division. So, like, Keto and Alex and Deb and Ross were all, like, sussing it out. Like, so they're saying if I win this and Keto wins, that means I'd have to fight and Keto doesn't have to fight. So we'd split the gold again. And like you said, word for word, that's what happened, and that did what happened. And then Ross did exactly what we all said was happening. It was just crazy. But then see, when I got the flag off, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you this. Honestly, it was one of the best moments in my life, in my amateur career. Like, but no one got it on record, right? No one got it on record, and I'm good about it. Paddy the Baddy, right? He was there for about 5 to 10 minutes of the whole weekend, yeah, the whole entire weekend. So the second I got the crab off Keto, jumped the cage, grabbed the flag off Keto, and he's the first person I see, Paddy the Baddy. And I go, Paddy, and he's just there looking around saying, who's this fella calling me? And he see me in the cage, and I done his dance.
Yeah.
I done Paddy that, and he just goes, well done, lad, and all. It was a good little moment, but no one got it on bleeding record.
Oh, is it? Nowadays, everyone has their phones all the time, but they didn't have that phone at one moment.
Man, it was good. It really was good.
But the thing is, you'll always remember that like it's on record. That's a core moment for you in your career going forward. Like, especially with someone like him, the heights he's at now.
Exactly.
He's have to re-sign new UFC contract.
UFC contract, you know what I mean?
So obviously he's going to be getting more than the 12 and 12 now, I'd say. So
I'm going to say it to him in a few years. Remember that time in Liverpool?
Yeah, see, and it's good, like, because obviously MMA is still only quite young in the likes of Ireland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see these stories coming around, like you can see Max Lally put up a picture with McGregor when he was like a kid.
Literally, like,
yeah, literally a kid, and it's actually cool. That's why I like following your career, Keith's career, Ross's career, Gary Rudy's career, all these amateurs, is you can see the arcs of their career. So I actually find it more interesting now than the pros. Not that I find it more interesting. I find it interesting following from the start. So when you first started, like, obviously you came in to learn to defend yourself. Was actually going and fighting professionally ever in your mind? Or was it once you had the first fight? Did you even plan on having a fight, or was you convinced by Ross to fight or something?
Honestly, I don't know. It was actually crazy. I honestly was just going with the flow, to be honest. And I was as a little kid going through school, and you're a fighter, you know what I mean? I think I craved all that attention. I always craved everyone's opinion of me, really, to be honest. And then I think that was close to the Lewis fight, and I started getting out of that buzz. Like, I don't give a bollocks about what anyone says about me. No comments, no nothing. No, you don't like me, you hate me. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, it's my life. I'm in control of it, and that's all that matters. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was probably the biggest. That was the biggest thing going now, because when I look at fighting now, like, I don't look at fighting as if it's about people or it's about money. Like, I'm in fighting because I like fighting. I love fighting. Like, I love hurting people.
Yeah.
I like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, fighting, you see all these fighters, like, and each to their own. I mean, I'll never judge another fighter. You have my respect the second you get in that cage. Whether you win, you lose, you get a dig, you get submitted, I don't care. Once you get in that cage, you have my respect. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't give a bollocks what you say about me, because I'm in charge of my future at the present. Do you know what I mean? Whatever happened in the past is the past, and it's all about experiences. But like, seeing my boy on Instagram, it's like it's called Student of Beautiful Violence. Do you know what I mean? Because I love violence, and obviously I don't like murder a few cunts. You know what I mean? Like, this is a sport. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd kill the fella I'm against, then after I'd shake hands with him, have a beer with him. Do you know what I mean? Hug it out, like, do you know what I mean? It has me high to respect, and that's the best thing about mixed martial arts.
Yeah, no, and I actually like what you said there about what people think about you, or like before you kind of crave the attention, which is you've kind of gone the opposite now. Like you said, you don't really care what people think, because at the end of the day, the only person who's going to progress your career or help your career is you. Because I find this sport very fickle at times. I've talked to a few fighters after their losses, and a lot of fighters have said thanks for the text, because when you're winning, I don't know if you've ever had this, everyone's texting you, your phone's hopping out of it, but then once you lose, the texts become less and less.
I only said that to my best mate the other day, Bradley. We was on a walk with my dog, and the amount of people texting me, right? The amount of people text me, but when you lose, do you know what I mean? When you lose, you know, it's not that you know who your friends are, but, or not, you know who's there if you're any of that soppy bollocks, but you just know the power of winning and losing. Do you know what I mean? It's a completely different type of feeling towards other people, and it's you're in control of it, or you actually let it affect your life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, some people take serious breaks because they lose of, you're a shy fighter. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he's shy, like, oh, he's shy at this, he's shy at that. Like, at the end of the day, like, you have to learn to just, so that you let go in there and out the other ear, or else you can feed up your energy. Embrace it and just go out there and go again. You lose again, so what? You got to lose again, so what? You lose again, so what? But you keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The worst thing is people that say that are people who are sitting on the couch, out of shape, and probably only watch MMA as a casual kind of thing, and don't realise the hard work that goes into it. And if they were put in front of you or anybody, they probably wouldn't last 20 seconds in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've had a very decorated career so far. Like you've been to the IMAS. Obviously, you've been to the IMAS. Talk us through that experience, what that meant to you, and what you felt you learned from it.
My first IMAS was 2018, and I got like a 14-second armbar against like a Romanian fighter, and he's like I think he's like 3-1 now. Do you know what I mean? He's pro now, and the fact, like, looking at see where he is and where I'm at, it's crazy like that. And I done that to him, and the experience of IMAS, that, as I said, I know I represent Jordan Bradshaw, I know I represent C-Mac, but to represent Ireland, it's a one in a million feeling, representing your country, especially if you know its history and all that shit. But the fact that you go out there and you beat another country and you beat another fighter, you're honoured. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're honoured representing Ireland, and that's all I care about. Do you know what I mean? When you're over there in them tournaments, but over in a different country, you have all these eyes on you, you have all these type of experiences on it. That's what it's there for. You're going against a different type of bodies. Do you know what I mean? I know you have the likes of Irish fighters and English fighters that are close to home, but then you're getting all these mad shit from Romania, from Poland, from Bahrain, from Russia. And you're getting all these high-level butchering you, wrestling you, and you're learning so much. And the IMAP is definitely the best area place if you want to learn as an amateur MMA fighter. I'll say that day in, day out, because you're constantly fighting. I know, fair enough, you're not underneath the lights and everyone's around you drinking, saying, go on, yeah, fuck him, all that shit, you know what I mean? And they're two different environments to be around. But to progress as mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking, all that, of the fighters, IMAF is definitely the best route.
Yeah, no, it is. And obviously, you've got the Super Cup now, the Four Nations. And you've been privileged. You were on the first team to go to the Super Cup, the first team for the Four Nations. How does that make you feel as a fighter? You've essentially made history by being the first team, and obviously runners-up in the Super Cup, and like the haul you took home from the Four Nations is amazing. How does it feel to be in the first ones to make history like that?
Yeah, just me alone, I feel I'm grateful because I was in the first Four Nations, I was in the first Super Cup, I was in the first Nationals. Do you know what I mean? And to win two of them and become second in the Super Cup was unbelievable. Like in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, like, I'm going to be like what we're known for. I'm going to be in the very first one, like the very first one, the list of all the ones that are going to come, because like the new generation, like, to see how level, like the high level they are already, like, should see the people in our gym that are 16, 17-year-olds, man. Killers, man. Killers, like, they butcher me all day long, and they're unbelievable, and I can't wait to see them to progress in their amateur careers and pro as well. But as I said, the Super Cup, oh man, the Super Cup was probably, I know the Four Nations was an unbelievable experience, but the Super Cup was just phenomenal, like, and I know the perks of it, of getting collected, and, do you know what I mean, it's like, it was pro, but the fact that it was on an international, it was the biggest stage, do you know what I mean, and for me, I like to move around a lot in a cage, do you know what I mean, so it was a 9-metre cage, like, octagon was unbelievable, it was huge, so I got to move around a lot and showcase me skills, like me striking, and I did, like, out of all them fights in my amateur career, if I had to pick one, what was my most enjoyable, even though I lost, was the Mexican fight.
The decision.
Yeah, I lost 29-28, like, but easily that was my most enjoyable of all my 18 fights, and my amateur career's not over yet. Like, I want to have at least 25, 30 fights, like, if it's possible, and then bounce to Thailand, give an elbow, get an elbow, do you know what I mean, and then be ready for a pro.
Yeah, no, I actually like. So, are you planning on going over to Thailand to train then in a couple of years, or?
No, definitely. January, February, March. I'm going over to Thailand.
Oh, of the coming year?
Yeah. Like, it's the only thing. It's what I get up in the morning for, man. Just thinking of Thailand, going by the beach, getting up every morning. Like, 'cause I work now. I work 40 hours a week, and I come to training, train 5-6 days a week, like everyone else. But I want to be able to go to Thailand, train 3 times a day, eat healthy foods, be on my phone an hour or 2 hours a day, being around beautiful water, beautiful wind, nature, sea, everything. You're just a ground, and you're healing yourself. Your mind is getting stronger. Everything is just Like, and it'll be conditioning. Me strength and conditioning will be phenomenal because you're going against toys, man. Do you know what I mean? They're brutal, but they're hard working motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? And I'll learn a lot over there.
Yeah, no, because you actually see it. I think Aaron McDonald went over there recently for a couple of weeks as well. Obviously, they are the true epitome of a kind of fighter's lifestyle, aren't they, over there?
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
obviously what you're in this because you want the fighter's lifestyle. You're not an Instagram fighter. You're not like you don't showboat. You want this because this is how you want to live your life. Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't give a bollocks about social media. I hate it. Like, and I wish that it didn't exist. But at the end of the day, this is the new generation. This is how it exists, and you have to. It's either you join in. You have to tag along if you want to progress in life. People always say to me, "Why'd you have so many? You're following so many." Like, all I do is follow Muay Thai pages, MMA pages, Jiu-Jitsu pages, and like I'd say that 50 or if not 60%, that's who I'm following. Because I want to flow through Instagram and not see someone out on the lash. Like, I want to see like a new technique, and I'm sending to the boys a new knee, a new elbow, a new combo. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think social media is good for, to learn new shit. Do you know what I mean? Of course, the promoting side of it, and that I'm only learning now. That's why I'm here. Like, of course, we're here to progress ourselves, and you're here helping me out. Do you know what I mean? I'll be forever grateful for you as well, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that's what you want to. You want to get to all these organisations. You want to get your name out in the world, and this is the only way to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not what, like, I know it is what you know and how talented you are, of course. Do you know what I mean? But in some cases, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah. And I think promotion is definitely one of the best keys
to get in places then. Like, because the way I look at it is if you've got two fighters of a similar, and it isn't right the way this kind of works, I think. If you've two fighters of, just say one slightly better than the other, but this lad's more on social media and he's more out there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're probably going to go for the guy that's slightly less better just because it'll pull in numbers, because essentially, even though it's a sport and a lifestyle, it's actually a business too, the likes of the UFC and stuff, so they wouldn't be drawing in the numbers.
Like, I've seen fighters out there, like, say for instance, that have like 30, 40 sponsors. Like, that's probably over exaggerated. I'd say about 10, 20. And then you see the likes of, then you see the likes of Keto, do you know what I mean? It would have about 6, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're saying, but this fella would have, like, this fella would not even be a fraction of Keto's talent, do you know what I mean? You're saying, like, but it's because he has like 10 times the amount of followers Keto has, do you know what I mean? It's getting their brand out there, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Keto would be the better investment, do you get me?
Yeah.
But they don't realise that though.
Yeah, because it's all short-term gain.
Exactly.
And short-term, and that's with social media and the internet. That's the way everyone has short memories. It's all short-term games. No one thinks of the long game, except for the likes of fighters who are in it for the long haul. Yourself, Keith, and many others scattered around the country. So we've gone through the IMAS. We've gone through how it felt to be at the Super Cup. Actually, there's one thing. Weighing in for the Super Cup, did you have to do the same as the IMAS, weighing in day by day? How hard is that? And because you fought a featherweight in those competitions, wasn't it?
Same day I'd fight featherweight, and day before I'd fight bantamweight, and I definitely know my body by now, like weight cutting wise and all, etc., water load and all that, etc. But the bonus with the Super Cup, there was a 90-degree sauna. So like, so I was chilling. So I was like 65.5 the first fight, 65.5 the second fight, and then the third fight, this doesn't make any sense at all. I had a Nando's that day, and then I weighed in at 64.5 on the last day, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense at all. But like, that's just the way my weight was. I mean, it just fluctuates crazy, but it does. Like, you have to stick to it. You have to discipline yourself. You can't be like, oh, I want to fight, I'm after eating a load of chocolate bars, I'm after winning a fight, I'm gonna have a bottle of Coke. Like, you can't, like, this is a tournament, you have to stay consistent, like, for the 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it may be. I mean, until you're out of the tournament, then you can feast, or until you win the tournament, then you feast. But it's a good discipline to have, because when you're fighting on a show, you only have to make weight, and then you're fighting on the one fight, and then you go and eat your brains out the next day, do you know what I mean? So that's why I think fighting same day is so much more beneficial, and all these fighters that cut like 10, 20, not 20, it's about 10 kilo for the same day, they'll feel that. Yeah. They'll feel that in their fight, like, and then, but that's why I think the IMAF, it's the most fairest and most learning progress in amateur MMA.
Yeah, no, I like that. It shows the discipline and the mindset of someone to be able to do the same day weigh-in, and then obviously I think it's kind of fair as well, because a lot of people aren't cutting huge amounts of weight because, like you said, they're going to feel it. So you kind of have more of a level playing field as well, because
Exactly.
some people cut crazy amounts to come down. Even at amateur, I've noticed 1 or 2 fighters, and you're just like, why would you do that for amateur?
Yeah, like it's not like fair enough day before, like people, you can kill yourself a little bit, but like, because you have 24 hours to regenerate, and you could get loads of carbs into you, loads of electrolytes get into you, and your body could perform for maybe, but you might feel it the day after, do you know what I mean? But same day is a bit crazy. Like I've seen people cut 7-8 kilos for same day, which is fucking crazy, man. Like, do you know what I mean? For same day, like that's day before type shit, do you know what I mean? But for cutting that amount the same day and then going out performing, you have to eat after weigh in. Like I'd say you have about 2-3 hours until you fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you actually haven't got enough time for your body to be like performance-wise, do you know what I mean, real efficient for the fight. So you actually have to be walking around the way. You have to be in training around 2-3 kilos off fighting weight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And but up for the Four Nations and up to the Super Cup, like I'd walk around at around 67, doing pads, doing MMA rounds. Do you know what I mean? Doing great, like getting your body used to being in that type of weight so you can perform. But yeah, that's just IMAF's definitely the best route in my opinion.
Yeah, no, so you've done the IMAFs, the Super Cup. Are you going to be looking to try and go to them again next year?
To be honest with you, I'd love to have 25-30 fights before pro, but I want to finish out the year. If me and Keito can go to the Worlds and the Euros, if they do happen, I'd love if both of us can go. I'd dying to go to that. I'd love to go to the Worlds, do a World Championship, and who knows, maybe end of next year, mid next year, probably the end of next year, looking towards pro. But or really, or even probably the year after. To be honest, it depends on me learning. Like the thing about me, you have all these kids, and as the people and novices, like they're just fast learners. Like, and the thing about me, I'll hold my hand up high and say, I am a slow learner. Do you know what I mean? It took me so many years in C-Mac just to get across right. Do you know what I mean? Literally, I've got abuse just from getting. But that's the way in C-Mac. Do you know what I mean? You can't be sensitive. Do you know what I mean? You have to be. You have to just learn it and take it on the chin and progress. And if you don't get it right, you go again. But it took me so many years just to get the cross right. And that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, just learning.
Yeah, no. So you've done really well so far, and then hopefully you'll get to these this year, and then obviously you're going to have Thailand next year. You actually talked about being in the big cage. Premier FC actually have a big cage. Would that be something that'd interest you?
Yeah, the amount of people that's after sending me that. I don't know how the amount of people that's after sending me that saying you can move around. Of course, I'd look into that, but I think this is my 9th fight this year. This is my 9th fight this year, so I think I think when I fight, I'm fighting now in 2 weeks against Paddy. So after this, I'm probably gonna have August. But I want to gym. Like I know I'm fighting all the time, and that's probably the most important bit. But you also have to come back to training. You have to improve and train. You have to get better in training. So like, do you know what I mean? I love sparring all the boys every single night. But you have to be in the back of your head. You're fighting soon, so you can't get injured. You can't try new shit. Do you know what I mean? Because you're so ready to fight. You're practicing all the mechanics for that fight, and you have to just stay used to it. But I want to be able to try new shit like jumping off the wall, Superman punches off the walls, you know what I mean? Like just some mad shit that you can practice in training, and you can focus on getting better in training and just relax, and then go again in September, go again in November, and then Christmas, see what happens.
Yeah, because obviously you're not looking past your next opponent, which is Paddy Doran on Cage Conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the first time in a while you actually haven't got a wrestler. How are you feeling about this being a striking affair, potentially?
Yeah, it's going to be a very good fight. I really am really looking forward to it, because it is going to be a good fight, a really good fight. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I haven't been there. I'm going to go up there because obviously Keith's going to be there. I know you, Keith. Who else is on the card?
Me, Keith, Ross, and Higgs.
Yeah, so all
Higgs,
four.
Big Higgs, yeah, 4 of us. So looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and like I said with Keith earlier, you've got a good record on the show. I think it's 12-1 or something like that. How does it feel to go to the shows together with the team? Because you actually seem to, when there's one of you on the card, it seems to be more than one usually that you all go. How does it feel going up together?
Of course, as I said, we're a wolf pack. Do you know what I mean? So the more of us, the better. The more of us, the better. Like I've been to shows when it's just me fighting.
Yeah.
Just me fighting, and it's okay. But of course, you'd like your teammates fighting on the same cards because they train with you. Do you know what I mean? So, but one card I'd love to fight on, but if I'm not fighting on it, occurs is if it's in Dublin, if it's in Ireland, Alex's pro debut. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know who Alexander O'Sullivan is, like you're a sap. Do you know what I mean? Alexander O'Sullivan is like, he's the best. In my opinion, he's the best. Do you know what I mean? And he's the most. Oh, if you don't know Alex, get to know him.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, he's well known within the country. I'm going to ask you one or two questions more. Obviously, as what does being a fighter mean to you? When someone says the word fighter, what words would you describe a fight? Like, what words would you use?
Violent, vicious, respect. So I mean, that's what I think. People look at you differently because you can take a dig or you can give a dig. You're not afraid of blood, or you're not afraid of breaking an arm or breaking your own arm. Like, you're willing to take that risk. I think they're the three words, and I think most people in this world they're in fear of fighting. They don't look at it. They think, oh, people say, oh, you're crazy, and then you have other people, oh, hey, Jordan, what's up, Jordan? Like, you're a fighter, I have respect for you, blah blah blah. And then you have people, well, like the most people that I have respect for is when other fighters come up to me and say, well done. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes me feel great, is when other fighters tell me, like, well done, Jordan, you done good, because they've been in the moment, they've done it all. So for them to say it means a lot more than the average. Yeah.
Because they've never, like myself and other people, have never been in that situation. So we can say well done, but when it comes from your peer, and it's the same for me. If someone said to me, "You're doing a good job, what you're doing," that would mean a lot to me, because obviously they're in the same realm, and then
exactly.
I understand they've been there and they know what they're doing. Last question: if I asked Keith earlier, what would you want people to remember you by through fighting? Like, if there was a word or a phrase or something.
Definitely violent.
I
Yeah, I know. I probably would be violent, because I know there's going to be a ton time. Like, I know people aren't going to remember you for your amateur career, because when you go pro, really, that's what people remember you by. And my pro career hasn't even started yet. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't even begun. So I'm really looking forward to going pro, but it's not for a long time. Do you know what I mean? I have a lot to improve on, a lot to get better on, and I will get better on it. I am going to get better as a fighter. Looking forward to it.
I'm waiting, because you've got a really good high kick, and you caught at the Super Cup. You caught one of them with one, and I'm just waiting for you to get the knockout with one of them. So.
One day a knockout is gonna come with a high kick. I can feel it. Like, I can feel it. It's gonna come. I thought I had your man there in the Four Nations, but he slice blocked good. There's a picture. It landed clean, but he slice blocked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he defended it good. Like, it stops the impact of hitting his head in the temple. But my favourite, if I had to pick one thing to knock someone out with, it would definitely be an elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd want to knock someone out with an elbow.
Yeah, there's been quite a few really good ones over the years. Who was it? Was it Matt Brown against Diego Sanchez?
Yeah, unbelievable. But my favourite fighter, like, at the minute, would probably be Jonathan Hegarty.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hegarty, he's just a sicko. Like, he's like, if I had to pick one word for him, he's violent. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can see him, he's constant on the go. He doesn't take a break attacking. The only time he takes attacking is when he's defending, and then he's coming straight back at you to hurt you every second, every combo. But yeah, violent.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much for your time. I look the best of luck in your upcoming fight at Cage Conflict, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
No problem. Cheers.